What's going on, guys? Unknown Player here, and today we're going to be looking at a very special weapon that I recently obtained. And yes, this is an actual Fatebringer Imago loop. I still cannot believe I got this lucky to get a perfect roll, but I literally have a year 3 Fatebringer, which most of you guys will know I've wanted since the Taken King. I've always used pretty much all my keys in hope of getting one, but I normally just get some kind of like garbage perks or like the Titan Mark or something. But I finally managed to get one. I'll be talking about this weapon, why it's good, its perks in comparison to the original Fatebringer, and also the recent increase to the drop rate of skeleton keys, because it's actually been increased by quite a lot. It's quite generous how they drop now in strikes. You can see me going to the Postmaster actually picking up, and I saw the Outlaw and Firefly perks and I was so excited. But let's talk about the perks and then I'll talk about the weapon itself and my thoughts on it. So firstly, we've got True Sight for better target acquisition, we've got Fast Draw, Quick Draw, Outlaw, Extended Mags, Reinforced Barrel, and also Will of Light, and the final perk being, of course, Firefly. So there's a bit of a backstory to this gun. I'm sure some people are wondering why everyone makes such a big deal of this gun and why it's so hyped up. Essentially, the Imago loop is a direct version of the Fatebringer with current light levels in year 2 or year 3. The Fatebringer is basically the best and the most popular primary weapon in all of year 1 for PvE, and it was the Vault of Glass Raid hand cannon. Pretty much everyone used to use it. If you ask a year 1 player what their favourite weapon was for PvE, the answer is probably the Fatebringer. Everyone basically loved it. So Bungie actually decided to put the weapon into year 2 with the Taken King through this Imago loop, which is a direct copy of the weapon. It's not similar or inspired by it. It's literally a direct copy and paste of the weapon. As you can see by the stats on screen, everything is identical. It's the same weapon, just in year 3 light levels, and they did it as a really cool way for people to basically chase the most fan-favored weapon of year 1, and that's basically a short story of why this is such a sought-after gun, and essentially why everyone makes such a big deal of this role on the weapon. So the only differences are, of course, the arc burn element, which of course was removed from all primaries, seeing as no primaries that burns anymore, other than the Xylo Supercell exotic. And other than that, it's also, of course, painted white, which I actually personally like myself. I think the white skin looks a lot better than the kind of brown bronze theme of the original Fatebringer, but those are the only differences, the white color and the arc burn. Other than that, it's a direct copy of the Fatebringer, but brought up to current light levels. The RNG to get this roll is absolutely ridiculous, which is why I couldn't believe it. I've probably gotten like 20 to 25 of these Imago loops in total, and all pretty much with awful perks as you've seen in my videos. Even getting like Outlaw and Firefly, just the 2 perks, is pretty impossible enough, but also getting Reinforced Barrel for the range and True Sight for the target acquisition, the odds must be just ridiculous, and it's all down to RNG. And also the fact that it does have Reinforced Barrel, in my opinion, does make it better than the Fatebringer, because it's got a ton more range, simple as that. I could use this in PvP if I wanted to. Obviously, it's not the greatest role for PvP. The perks are mainly for like killing thralls and killing ads, but even still, the added range is definitely going to make headshots a lot easier, so you can activate the Outlaw and Firefly a lot more often. And I've said it a million times, this role is exactly what I wanted. It does also have Extended Mags, which is pretty funny because the original Fatebringer had the Field Scout perk, of course, which used to do the same thing as Extended Mags back in the day before it got changed. These days it only increases the ammo capacity, so the amount of ammo you can hold, not the mag size, but this Imago loop now has the new improved version of Field Scout, so you can increase the magazine size if you wanted to. The one perk it doesn't have is explosive rounds, which some people would use on the original Fatebringer back in the day, kind of spreads out the damage between ads, but let's be honest, explosive rounds is definitely a novelty perk. I would much prefer the range increase that I've got. Now, in terms of those range perks, I'm kind of torn as to which one I would prefer out of Rifle Barrel or Reinforced Barrel. Essentially, it boils down to a reduction in reload or stability. I guess reload wouldn't be that bad because Outlaw does speed it up, and you can use reload gauntlets as well, but the stability isn't really that noticeable either, so I'd say both are good choices. And the bottom column I've got Will of Light, which is pretty funny to do bonus damage to the Taken. Would have been a lot more helpful last year when the Taken were the main enemy, but Disciplinarian I guess would be ideal for this year, year 3, doing bonus damage to the Fallen, but I'm probably not going to use it anyway, so it's just a really strange perk to have at the bottom. But if I wanted to, I could do bonus damage to the Taken, which is always a nice option. Now, in terms of those skeleton keys, like I said, they seem to be massively increased. Bungie said they'd increase the drop rate slightly, but it feels like it's massively because I seem to get them like every 3rd strike. I've seen a few other people say the same thing. They seem to be dropping a lot more often these days. I had 17 skeleton keys last night, and I went around just opening a bunch of chests, anyone that I could find essentially, obviously starting with the Undying Mind. My first ever strike that I opened, I got the Titan Mark, so I was very disappointed with that. And the second one, I got this Fatebringer, so now I've pretty much got all these keys. I don't really know what to spend them on. Of course, I'm always used to trying to get the Imago loop, but it's pretty much impossible for me to get an even better roll, so I'm probably going to go for some more Grasp of Molochs and maybe a few other armor pieces for the collection. But let me know in the comment section if you're playing strikes as well, if you notice any crazy increase in how often the keys drop. It seems pretty drastic in my personal experience, and of course you do also get the guaranteed 1 per week from your first Nightfall completion, and then 3 from the Dawning quest you do on each of your characters with Zavala. So keys seem to be dropping at a perfect rate in my opinion, and it gives you enough to actually experiment and hopefully get some good rolls on weapons you're after. I'll probably take this Fatebringer into the Crucible, seeing as it's got some good range to it, although it isn't really a PvP weapon, but I'm looking forward to that, seeing if it's any good or not. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, a like rating would be much appreciated, and I'll see you guys in the next one.